Hey guys, have you ever wondered what the term stock float truly means? Let's explore this important concept today. In this video you'll learn all about the stock's float. 1. Understanding restricted versus unrestricted shares. 2. What is a stock float? 3. Where can I find public float? 4. Why is stock float important? 5. What is a low float stock? 6. Use stock float to make money. 1. Understanding restricted versus unrestricted shares. Restricted cannot be sold for certain amounts of time. Sometimes there's 12, 18, 24 months holding periods. When a new employee joins a company, they get restricted shares. They can't just sell the shares right away. For example, I'm a programmer and I joined a company. I get 10,000 shares that I can sell in 24 months. Those shares are restricted. Restricted shares are not part of the public float. Unrestricted shares, on the other hand, can be traded freely on the open market. 2. What is a stock float? Now we understand restricted and unrestricted shares. Let's answer the question, what is a stock float? Stock float is the number of shares of a company's stock that are available to the public for trading. This excludes restricted shares, which are held by insiders, such as company executives and employees. For example, Company A has 10 million shares outstanding, and all of those shares are available to the public. This means that the company has a share float of 10 million. Company B also has 10 million shares outstanding, but only 5 million of those shares are available to the public. This means that the company has a share float of 5 million. 3. Where can I find public float? Go to finviz.com. On the search bar, type the stock ticker symbols that you want to search. In this example we use ACON ticker symbols. Let's scroll down a little bit. We can see the share float is 5.55 million, which is the public float that can be traded freely. On top of that we also see shares outstanding is 8.20 million. 8.20 millions are the total number of shares of a company's stock that have been issued and are currently in existence. This includes all shares that are held by both insiders and the public. 4. Why is stock float important? Stock float is important because it determines how volatile a stock's price can be. A stock with a low float is more volatile than a stock with a large float. This is because with low float stocks have fewer shares available to trade. The big guys have the money to manipulate the stock easily. The big guys refer to the institutional investor, who has the money to pump up the stock very easily. 5. What is a low float stock? While there's no industry-wide standard for what defines low float stocks, but many brokers consider stocks with fewer than 10 million freely available shares for trading to be a low float. 6. How to use a stock float to make money. Investors can use stock floats to make money by trading stocks with small floats when they expect good news. This is because a small float can lead to a sharp increase in the stock price if there is a lot of demand for the shares. For example, an investor is interested in trading the stock of a company called XYZ. XYZ has a float of 10 million public shares. The investor does their research and finds that XYZ is about to release positive earnings news. The investor believes that the positive news will cause the stock price to rise sharply. The investor buys 10,000 shares of XYZ stock. The positive earnings news is released, and the stock price of XYZ rises sharply. The investor sells their 10,000 shares of XYZ stock for a profit. I prefer to trade stocks with a float of 5, 10, or 20 million shares, because these stocks are less volatile. I also want to warn that low float stocks can move very quickly, so it's important to be prepared for sharp price changes. If you're a beginner investor, I recommend that you stay away from low float stocks until you have more experience. Do your research and understand the company's financials before you make any trades. That's a wrap, traders. We've covered the fundamentals of stock float today. Remember, education is key, and with the right knowledge, you can embark on the path to becoming a successful trader. Stay tuned for more invaluable insights, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, happy trading, and may you achieve your financial goals.